What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. So the Clippers let an opportunity squander away that they really should have took advantage of. And they got to hope that it doesn't come back to bite them in the long run in this series. Even though the Nuggets were the slight favorites in this series, the Clippers definitely, to me, have the better team. When you look at talent-wise, when you look at just, you can go by talent, but you can also go by just the defensive talent that they have alone. I mean, honestly, the Clippers have better defenders all the way around, good perimeter defending, and all the above, but they really just need to find a way to get everybody on the same page when they're playing this team. And the one thing I see that really was a problem that a lot of people might not speak on, a lot of people spoke on, Kawhi only having 20 points and the 7 turnovers, I believe, which is definitely not like Kawhi, definitely not like him. He'll definitely rebound from that, or at least I believe he will, because we know Kawhi to be a way better player than that. And the fact that I think the bigger problem is what Ty Lue implemented. You can't go into a game like that and let James Harden just kind of dictate everything, because even though James Harden had, a pretty good game overall. I mean, he had 32 points and he played good, but my problem with James Harden is you're not going to win being that ball dominant and taking wild 3-pointers and trying to draw 4-point plays. That's always been one of my biggest problems with James Harden. I mean, if the foul call is given to you, you take it. But trying to act it out and trying to make it look dramatic and draw a 4-point play and sitting on the ground, and now everybody got to get back on one part of the floor because you're sitting on the ground with your hands up looking for a foul call. It's little things like that that get you beat, because those are opportunities that Denver and any other team is probably going to capitalize on, because obviously if one man is sitting on the floor calling for a foul, now you're playing 4-on-5 on defense. And I know a lot of blame will get put on Kawhi Leonard, but it's little things like that James Harden does a lot of times that helps his teams get beat, especially in the playoffs. And there's been a few shots, there was a few shots this past game that James Harden took where he was trying to draw that 4-point play foul and, trying to sell it to the referees. And, it's like, that's not winning mentality. It just isn't. And a lot of people might not point little things like that out, but James Harden got to stop that shit. Stop looking for a foul call. If you're that nice, if you're that good with your game, then shoot the damn 3-pointer. And if you get fouled, you get fouled. If you don't, you don't. And of course, like I said, Kawhi has to play better, in everything, score more and be more, as he usually is, and, play his game as well. So I'm not excluding Kawhi Leonard, but if you're going to give the ball to James Harden that much, let him be that ball dominant, I feel like that's something that can hinder the Clippers. And I think that's something Ty Lue has to really think about, because you gotta play off the ball some. You know what I mean? It has to be more off the ball, going to the basket and running your offensive sets. It can't just be ball dominant, because if Ty Lue hasn't been aware, that's the reason why James Harden never won championships before, because he's too ball dominant and throughout his career, and it really takes away from what other players do well at times during the game when you need them to step up. Because even though Kawhi Leonard is a great player also, but Kawhi Leonard needs the ball in his hand more so in isolation to get the team going and get himself going. The offense needs to run through Kawhi. It can't run through James Harden. James Harden is not a fucking champion. He never was one. He was a scoring title holder. He was a MVP of the regular season, but he never won championships. So you have to put the ball in Kawhi's hands. The taking Kawhi out, I think, what was in the second quarter or something like that. I mean, leaving James Harden in was not a bad idea, of course, because James Harden played okay, but he gets too trigger happy and too ball dominant, and it's like, I don't know. It's just something about James Harden game that scares me in the playoffs. He can have a good game here and there, but it doesn't stay consistent for a long period of time. And it's holes in the offense when you let a player, have the ball usage that long. Hence the reason why the Dallas Mavericks never won with Luka, because Luka was so ball dominant. Other players just kind of standing around. They get their opportunities, but they don't get enough opportunities to make the offense complete. So when you have a ball dominant player like that, it really hurts a team more so. I mean, think about it. Jamal Murray could be a ball dominant player because he's actually a point guard. He plays the point guard position. He also plays the 2 guard position, but it's more ball movement with the Nuggets. It's more off the ball movement, catch and shoot, running around. You know what I mean? It's more, I don't know, it just looks more fluid, when you play that way, and everybody else just plays their role to the highest power, and they get the ball to Jokic when they need him, when he needs to be who he needs to be in the game, which is take over the game. And that's the way the Clippers got to do with Kawhi Leonard. You can't just let him just stand there and shoot threes when he catches and shoot. That's the reason why Kawhi catches and shoot a lot with the Clippers, more so than he did with any other team he played with, because ever since Ty Lue been there, especially, you're running an offense, or excuse me, let me just say this. Ever since they got James Harden, Kawhi has been more like a catch and shoot 3-point guy and less isolation of him doing what he does best. Unless he takes the ball himself and, find spots where he's being physical with guys and moving them around and getting to his spots where he needs to, which is a good thing because that's what Kawhi does. But you can also set up plays to where Kawhi is already in the post, in isolation, where he likes it, where he doesn't have to expend so much energy coming from the top of the key to 3-point line to be physical with guys to find his way to his spots, because guys are going to trap in his spots because they know that's where he likes it. Even though Kawhi is good enough to get his shot over anybody, but he shouldn't have to work so hard for his shot sometime, is what I'm saying. That's not the formula you want if you want to beat a team like Denver, because the one thing about Denver, they're not going to beat themselves in that way. They're not going to work so hard to get their shots off. They're going to be more fluid with the passing and the offense to where it gives everybody a little bit more freedom to score rather than work so hard to get a shot off and score. It just, when you're working harder for your shots and the other team is working less, that works to their advantage, doesn't work to yours. And I feel like sometimes, when you look at the Clippers, the way they're utilizing James Harden a lot, you're not going to win that way. So, Ty Lue's going to have to come up with a different game plan. Guys are going to play defense. And you got to find a way to get Norman Powell going a lot more. Norman Powell, having 9-10 points and not really, it just looks, I don't know. I feel like you have to find a way to implement him more, because I don't know. He's just not, or maybe he's just not hitting shots, to the level he was. He's getting decent looks and all that, but I don't know. I just feel like a weapon like that should be, I don't know. I feel like the Clippers are just not being coached right in the first game. Hopefully the second game going forward is better. I really don't know what to say, because I'm like, you can't let a game like that slip away. I understand Kawhi had 7 turnovers, but honestly, it still went into overtime. It still went. The Clippers still had the lead for the majority of the game. So there's other things besides his turnovers that caused them to lose. You can look at it from that one thing right there. Yeah, you can. But there's other plays in a game that cause you to lose as well, not just turnovers. Now, turnovers is big, don't get me wrong. Kawhi has to fix that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that unill-advised jump shots, looking for 4-point plays, and, trying to, Zubac, I don't know. They just didn't look complete that game. They looked a lot like they were trying to feel their way out in the series so far. And you can't do that against a team like Denver, not with Jokic on the floor. You can't feel your way out. You got to go take that game and take it from them. You know what I mean? And like I said, Kawhi starting off slow the way he did, like 2 points, I think, in the first quarter or something like that. That can't happen. You can't have him start off slow and then try to pick it up. And, because when you get one thing about James Harden, when you get him going and shooting, he's just going to shoot all damn night. And that's just what he does. He did hit a big shot so it can, I think, to go into overtime, I think, or something like that. So I give him credit. He did play pretty well, but all that ball usage shit, that shit got to go. You got to be more fluid with your offense and have more off the ball passing and throw Denver off, because Denver does have a few good defensive guys themselves. Aaron Gordon is pretty good defensively. Jamal Murray will get a steal. He's pretty good at getting steals and stuff like that. So, and Christian Brown, he's a pretty good defensive player. So they got guys that can make some defensive plays. And Jokic is 7 feet, so he can contest some things going into the paint. So, don't make it seem like Denver can't play defense at all and you just run your offense the way you want to. No, you have to respect who Denver is and how they play. And I don't think that's what Ty Lue did going into this game, the way he had it ran. You got to run your offense more through Kawhi. You got to get Kawhi going early. He can't have 2-3 points in the first quarter. And James Harden, got to, take more, high percentage shots. Don't try to look for fouls. Get the job done is what Ty Lue needs to implement to James Harden. Get the job done. Don't try to look for something the referees are not going to give you, because playoffs, they might not give you that call. You might have to just fight through it, and you might have to just keep going. And you might have to just play with the flow of the game. And that's the difference between a champion and a player who's not. You got to take what the defense gives you, not try to just sit there and take shots and ill-advised shots. Can't be none of that, because this Denver team, even though they lost Mike Malone, they still won a championship. They're well coached. They know exactly how to play. And somebody like James Harden, in the long run of this series, could really hurt the Clippers with all that ball usage. He just can. And you might not see it now, but it's possible, very possible. So hopefully they just switch up and switch up their offensive plan a little bit, keep playing defense the way they have been all season, and get more out of Norman Powell. That's going to be one of their biggest keys this series. Norman Powell's got to show up a little bit more. They got to find ways to get him some more open shots. I don't know what it is. I mean, he's getting open shots, but he's just not making them, or I don't know. Like, they just got to they got to have that third guy. Because even though Kawhi had 20 points, James Harden had 32. If Norman Powell has 19, 17, they win. It doesn't even go in overtime, probably. You see what I'm talking about? So it's like, we could talk about turnovers, all that, but everybody has to do their job also. And sometimes everything doesn't go right. But if your scorers score, at least you put yourself in better opportunity and give yourself a better chance to win. So hopefully Denver doesn't come out on fire tonight, and hopefully the Clippers do, and hopefully the Clippers capitalize and steal a game in Denver so they can, take the home court advantage back of the series and go back to LA and, try to rectify the series and go ahead and try to win it.